All right. Hey. This is Lee Fuller, aka the Funnel Helper. And it is 2020, right? And this is the first episode I'm recording of Funnel Helper Radio on the new in the new decade, right? And I kept saying, hey, you know what? This year I'm gonna do more videos, I'm gonna do lives. So what I'm testing out today is a live radio show recording, right? So hey, it's 2020, doing things different. Today we're going to be talking about how to keep your 2020 resolutions. You've probably made some, I've made some, and today we're on January 7th, and some people may have already tapped out, right? So what I'm going to talk about today is how to keep your New Year's resolutions. So I got a couple things going on. I'm recording the podcast. I got the video podcast. I believe I'm on Facebook somewhere right now, but I'm going to go ahead and teach this thing and get out of your way. Okay, so how to keep your 2020 resolution. First of all, I am so excited. This is episode 105 of the Funnel Helper Radio. So last year I said, hey, I'm starting the podcast. I'm going to do it. And we recorded 104 episodes last year. So I'm like, okay, how do I up level? Because each year you're supposed to get bigger, you're supposed to get better. So this year I'll be implementing more video podcasts. You know, I'm still working on my background, trying to get things together. But I say, you know what? It's already the 7th, so I got to get moving. I'm going to talk about that today on how to keep your 2020 resolutions. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get popping. Hello, I haven't figured out how to see if people are commenting yet, but I'm just going to keep going and go ahead and teach this thing, and I'll go back and look at it later. It's my first one. I'll get better, but right now, I'm just going to go ahead and rock out. So, number one. Well, I found out this weekend that most people are tapped out by January 17th. So, hey, we still got a little time to correct the ship, right? It's not January 17th. Today's the 7th. So here is how you can make sure you keep those New Year's resolutions, right? I'm going to give you 3 tips. Let's do it. Number 1, you got to break it down. You got to break it down. Write that down in the comment area. Break it down. Now, Lee, what do you mean by break it down? I believe that there are 4 broad categories in which you should place your goals, right? I believe you should place your goals into 4 broad categories. I kind of got this idea from the Bible. There's a verse that says Jesus grew in knowledge and stature in favor with God and man. And when I started thinking about that, I said, okay, so there should be a wisdom and stature. So there should be a knowledge goal. There should be a stature, which is a health goal in favor with God. So some type of religious or spiritual goal, and in favor with man, some type of relationship goal, right? So with that as my framework, I'm saying, hey, you should break down your goals into categories, because if you're like me, you've had your book, right? You've got your little book and you've written down like 20 or 15. I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that this year, right? I am going to have these 4 broad categories, and I'm going to put 1 or 2 under the category. That's it. That's it. Instead of changing my whole life in 2020, I say I'm going to improve in these 1 or 2 areas. Well, in these 4 areas, but only 1 or 2 things, because that's more manageable, right? So, number 1 is break it down into these 4 categories: a knowledge or skill goal, a health goal, a religious or spiritual goal, and a relationship goals, right? So if you do those 4, now you have a framework for where to fit your goals, right? And if you look and you see, man, I have a whole lot of goals under health, then maybe I'm not as balanced as I should be, right? If I'm working on a whole lot of stuff as far as relationship goals, then perhaps I'm not as balanced as I should be, right? So having these four, I kind of liken it to a chair, right? A good chair has four equal legs, right? So if you want to balance life, balance it on these four leg chairs. So number one, break it down into four categories. Number two, write it down. Okay, you got to write the goals down. If you want to accomplish your goals in 2020, you have got to write it down. Now, there's a concept that, where's my other calculator? Where's the calculator? I can't find my, anyway, where's my calculator? Okay, well, I'll just use the one on my phone. But there's a concept that I'm working on called make decisions with a calculator, right? I think you should make decisions with a calculator, and here is why. Okay, you should have numbers with your goals, right? Your goals should have numbers with them. So if you got these numbers with your goals, then you're able to quantify. There's a couple ways to quantify something. Yes or no. Did it happen or did it not happen? And number two, with numbers, right? And you can see if you're making progress by using these numbers. So write down goals with numbers in them. So that's number two. Number one, break it down. Number two, write it down with numbers, right? Hey, did you, numbers just, I was teaching my daughter, me and my daughter, we're going through our multiplication tables. And actually, they're called facts, right? The multiplication facts. And I was like, that's right, because numbers are factual. You know, numbers aren't emotional. Hey, did I hit this number? Yes or no? Facts, right? So when you're setting these goals, you want to write down your goals with numbers in them. So write it down or break it down, write it down. And next thing you want to do is chunk it down. Okay, chunk down your goals. Okay, 2020 or this next decade or whatever goals you're setting, you may have set these year-long goals. Now, take the goal that you want to accomplish this year and chunk it down. Give it smaller time periods and say, hey, you know what? In the next 2 weeks, this is what I'm going to accomplish. Or in this first month of the year, this is what I'm going to accomplish, right? So let's say, for instance, so in my business, we work with entrepreneurs and business owners looking to grow their business online through digital marketing and advertising, right? So I'll have some people that say, hey, this year I'm starting my podcast. This year is going to be the year, Lee. And I'm like, yeah, you can do it, right? Because I encourage people. That's what I do. So I say, okay, in these first couple weeks, in this first week, nail down the name of your podcast and try to get a graphic created. Okay? What are you doing? You're chunking it down. Hey, I'm doing a podcast. Hey, I believe you. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But so chunk it down. I'm going to have a graphic created with the name of my podcast on it. Whoa, now you're making progress. I call it the big mo. You got to have that big mo, which is momentum, right? Get it moving and you start to see things happen once you start moving. So chunk it down. Let's say you're trying to do, so, hey, this year is your year to lose weight or get in shape or whatever. So I bought a scale. What? Yes. I say, you know what? And when I go down, I'm going to declare mine. But I bought a scale. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get this scale in place. Why? Because my goals got to have numbers, and the scale is going to give me my number. My pastor, Pastor Jomo, says the scale is your truth, right? You can, hey, I think I'm doing pretty good. Look at the scale. The scale is truth, right? Numbers are facts. So scale it down or chunk it down. All right, real simple. And I'm going to get out of your hair because I got things to do. And I don't like long podcasts. So number one, break it down, 4 broad categories, right? A knowledge category, a health category, a relationship or spiritual category, and a relationship, right? Break down your goals into those 4 categories and try to put a couple in each one. Number two, write it down, and your goals got to have numbers, right? Either a completion date or a amount or size or something, and then chunk it down. We create these year-long goals. Okay, what's that first part of it that I can do right now? Because if you do it right now, you can have that momentum. You can get that big mo rolling in 2020. And then the last one, I was trying to think of a down, shut it down, but it's declare it publicly. So, bring it down. I don't know. I don't talk it down. I don't know, but you need to declare it publicly. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to declare my goals publicly so that the people that see me or the people that hit me up on Facebook, they can be like, hey, Lee, did you do that goal? And they'll be like, hey, mind your business. No, I don't want to say mind your business. I want to say, hey, thank you. I declared it publicly. Now there's a sense of accountability, right? So here are my goals for 2020, right? My knowledge goal, because I talked about you need to have a knowledge or skill goal. So my knowledge or skill goal is this year, Funnel Helper Radio and Full 6 Media, etc. We'll be doing YouTube advertising, right? I'm getting smart on YouTube advertising. But you're like, Lee, where's your number? Where's your number YouTube advertising? Listen, I've set aside $6,000. I've set aside $6,000 to use toward YouTube advertising this year. See what I'm saying? Facts, right? In the budget, it's like, man, there's $6,000. So Lee, you're gonna do something. Like $6,000 should teach you a lot about YouTube advertising, right? At least the first month or the first couple months, right? So, that's my knowledge or skill goal, and I put a number with it. Okay, Lee, what's your health goal? Well, my health goal is to stay under 195, right? So when in the military, neck strong, big, I was like at 205. I felt a little heavy, right? I'm no longer trying to make the bucks, right? They could use me probably, but I'm no longer trying to make the bucks, so I'm going to trim it down a little bit. I got married at 175. Can't get back that small. You know what I'm saying? Got to be realistic with my goals. But 195, I think, is reasonable. So, hey, my health goal, got to keep that weight around 195, right? And then the other health goal is, so in the military, there's these Army PF standards, right? And so I looked at what my 2-mile time should be for my age, okay? My 2-mile time for my age, in order to get 80%, I'm trying to pass, you know what I'm saying, this first year, trying to pass. I might not get 100. To get 80% on the Army 2-mile run, I need to be able to do it in 15:54, okay? I ran yesterday. I didn't do it in 15:54, so now I got some goals, right? I got to get it down to 54, so I got to get my running back up because I got to get cardio. It's all about cardio, especially if I'm going to be keeping my energy up for these Facebook Lives, right? So got my knowledge goal. Hey, learn YouTube advertising. I already set the budget beside it. Okay, health goal, stay under 195, and I got to be able to run 2 miles in 15:54. Okay, what I told you, put numbers behind it. It could be like, hey Lee, man, you just did it in 18 minutes. Wrong. You got to do it again. You got to keep working, right? My religious or spiritual goal. So, this year I'm reading. So I'm 4 books, right? There's 4 books that I've already identified, right? So, hey, what's the first step? How did I chunk it down? I've already picked the 4 books that I'm going to go through. Now, typically I read a lot of business books, right? And I'm not talking about like, when I say religion, I'm not like, hey, I'm gonna read Luke, right? Like Bible counts like one book, but there's a couple topics. If you care to know what topics, you can hit me up and say, Lee, what topics are you reading about? You know, one of it is like stewardship, and there's a couple other topics that I want to dive into this year. So if you're interested, hit me up and say, Lee, what's your spiritual goals? We can talk about that outside the podcast. And then number 4 is So relationship goals. What are my relationship goals? Now check this out. So I have a relationship goal this year to take the family overseas, right? We got to leave the country. We're leaving the country, going somewhere, right? So now this is how I know this stuff is powerful. So, okay, we're trying to leave the country. So what do we got to do to leave the country? Hey, we got to get passports, right? Duh, right? So I checked my passport. Okay, I had to get a new passport. The whole family's got to get a passport if we're taking the whole family, right? Now check this. I started filling out the application, right? Yesterday, when it took my picture, they tell you no smile, you can't smile, whatever. So I'm real serious. You know what I'm saying? That's my passport picture. And I was like, okay, now I was looking for a place to get it done. And they said the library are places you can get it done. So I called to the library as far as, there's some type of interview or whatever. Tried to stay on this side of town. Long story short, I called the library and I said, hey, I'm trying to get the passport application. She said, okay, well, there's no time available this week or next week, maybe in a couple weeks. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hey, down in the Ruskin Library, they're having a passport, training or passport for 4 hours, right? So they said this Saturday from like 9 to 2 or whatever, the library is doing these passport applications real time to get it done. And I said, look at this. Hey, I wrote it down. I started moving toward it, taking action, went and took my picture and everything. Already printed out my application. You got to find your documentation. But they say, oh yeah, this Saturday for like 4 hours, they're saying, hey, you don't have to have a reservation, just come. And I'm like, what? Done, right? What is that? That is taking actions on my goals. Why? Because I chunked it down, okay? So this stuff, if you want to keep your resolution in 2020, break it down into 4 categories, write it down with numbers, right? And I know the time I want to travel, so I do have the number of when I want to travel. And then chunk it down, okay? Hey, I need to get a passport, right? I need to retake the pictures. Retook the pictures last night, and I'll be able to get the passport thing done this Saturday. Like because everybody's got to go. The kids got to go, everybody. So what? Taking action, right? You get that momentum, and then you can rock out. So that was relationship goal. The other relationship goal was I'm trying to build out the Funnel Helpers Facebook community to 2,000 people, right? So if you are listening to this and you are a business owner, and you are not in the Funnel Helpers community group, go to Facebook, type Funnel Helpers community group, and join that group. I'm trying to reach my goal, people. Help me reach my goal, right? That's my relationship goal. Build out the Funnel Helpers community group to 2,000 people. And it's 2020. So my goal is to interview at least 20 other people on the Funnel Helper podcast, right? So if you're a funnel helper, if you're a business owner or you have a message or something that has to do with digital marketing, online marketing, how you market yourself, how you sell, how you do something very cool with technology. Hey, I'm looking to interview at least 20 people this year, right? And I want to be interviewed and be on 20 other podcasts this year. That's my 2020. You got to have 2020 on your goals, right? So that's what I have for you today. I'm so excited because I did it. I said, hey, you know what? This year I'm doing Facebook Lives. I'm doing, this year I am doing Funnel Helper Radio live, doing more video. And I actually turned it on today. I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. My background ain't set, right? Yeah. Hey, gotta make sure I trim up and that stuff before I jump on camera. Now that I'm not just recording, but take imperfect action, right? What am I doing? I'm creating that that motivation. Okay, this is Lee Fuller, aka the Funnel Helper, and Okay, Alana is paying attention. Hey, Alana, how you doing? Hey, I got to reach out to you because I did some stuff for you yesterday. Very cool stuff. But yes, break it down, write it down, chunk it down, and declare it publicly. I couldn't think of what the other was, so like, shout it down. Yeah, this is Lee Fuller, aka Funnel Helper, and you're listening to Funnel Helper Radio if you're listening to the podcast, or you're watching Funnel Helper live video. All right, I'll see you guys. I'm trying to do. Well, I ain't gonna put that out yet because gotta see how well I do. All right, but if you're not listening to Funnel Helper Radio, you need to be. Go to funnelhelperradio.com, or you can find it on all the socials. You can find it on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Music, blah blah blah. And that's all I got. Talk to you next time. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.